All right, so welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin.
I'm Tarsha.
This is Conversations with the Crawleys, and here we have conversations about faith, family, relationships, and we do recaps, reviews, and commentary on some of our favorite shows. This one is all about Justin and Alexis from Married at First Sight, season 15 in San Diego. So you know what to do.
You want to share.
You want to subscribe.
You want to like.
And you want to hit notifications and help the algorithm figure things out.
Like it.
All right.
Like it's hot. Like it's hot. Like it's
If y'all don't know already, we have fun on this channel. We do. All right, so Justin and Alexis. That's such high hopes for them.
It's still hopeful.
It's still hopeful.
Keep the hope. Keep hope alive.
All right, Jesse. You can play ball if you tall on the basketball court. Keep hope alive. All right, so anyway, she is FaceTiming with her sister, Amber, and she retells this story. She's getting a lot of traction out of this story. She's retelling this story about the dog. She is just telling it and telling. She's sitting at the corner telling it to whoever's walking by.
Like, what's wrong with your dog? Why he winking at me?
Let me tell you, hey, my husband. So, because she tells
her baby.
Yes, but she tells her sister, let me tell you what happened to your nephew.
She takes this very serious.
Yeah. So she does retell the story to the sister about the dog. And the sister's like, oh no. Oh, my nephew. Then they do get to talking about the relationship and where they're at, right? Mm-hmm. And Alexis tells her sister that, yes, they have said they love you to each other. That he is sweet, he is lovable. The sister then is like, just make sure you don't open up Pandora's box and open up and get hurt.
Yeah. You know, guess what? I'm gonna break it to him, Kevin.
Let it be broke.
Love hurts. Oh God, love hurts. It hurts. And the only way you can be loved, you're gonna get hurt. Now, how bad and
there's a difference between toxicity, which is not what we're talking about.
That's not what we're referring to.
There's a difference between that and you're exposing your emotions, you're being vulnerable, and someone who does not know you but has maybe your best interest in heart, or at least has desires to have the best interest at heart, may not always know how to handle you. Mm. And so that can be hurtful at times.
Even when you know or you feel like you know a person.
Right.
I can say I know you, but you have changed over the years. Mm-hmm. And so I will always be getting to know you.
Absolutely.
And so even in getting to know each other at different levels, at different times of our children, mm-hmm. in different times as we age, we are still getting to know each other. Guess what? I can be hurt.
Yep.
Now, how we bounce back, how I personally bounce back from being hurt, mm-hmm. but for me to love, I have to stay open.
Right.
And we tell people to shut down when potentially it's going to happen.
Yes.
And I think we need to stop it.
Yeah. She tells her to protect her heart, but Alexis does mention that she still has reservations, right? Mm-hmm. And
it's 2 weeks.
Right. It's 2 weeks in. I'd be surprised if she didn't have reservations, right? Again, the statements that he's vague, he's keeping stuff from her, mm-hmm. which she takes as a form of lying. Mm-hmm. And then the sister does say, you both have to do your part, which mm-hmm. was great advice there. I don't know about the previous advice.
Yes.
She's like, but take notes, keep an eye out. In other words, listen, trust, but verify for one thing. 2, you both have work to do because you're not perfect yourself. So you both have work to do. If he is vague, learn how to ask better questions that begin to help get the truth out. That's just my tip for them.
Oh, she did, because I was like, I don't remember her saying that.
No, that's a Kevinism.
Okay.
Y'all know y'all come on here, y'all get the recaps, but you get Kevin and Tarsha isms.
And I agree with that. Because I don't think he understands how much she really thinks this is her child. I think he's not understanding that either.
Right.
I love my pet.
My dog Prince.
I love my pet.
Well, in fact, I'll put a picture or video of him in the community.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. I love my pet, but if my doctor tells me it's gonna take 10 grand to keep my pet alive, I'm gonna say my goodbyes.
I do
I'm
hope
being
that all
honest.
dogs go to heaven. We'll play catch in the afterlife.
And please don't hate me in the comments. Please don't go there.
Listen,
Please don't go there because he's my pet. Now, I understand people can't have kids or whatever, and they want to kind of adopt, finding love and taking care of a pet. I don't have any problem with that. But when it comes to a point where he's not understanding, Justin is not understanding that, he doesn't know that this is the reason why he needs to overshare.
That's foreign to him.
That's foreign to him.
Right. However you stand on the side of that, we're not saying that she's out of bounds for that. We're not saying that he's out of bounds for that.
I'm saying he ain't understanding. Justin's not understanding how important she calls her child.
Yes.
The dog.
Yes.
So that's where I feel like he's really not getting.
No. Because we find out that the dog is coughing up blood or throwing up blood.
Right.
And has not eaten in 2 days, I think it was. And he's still giving the dog medicine. And so for her, she's like, you ain't saying nothing about this. From her perspective, my child is throwing up blood and you keep giving it medicine when we don't know if that's causing them to have a loss of appetite and now cough up blood. You not saying anything, that's a problem. And I can agree with that.
I totally agree with that. And
because again, even if he doesn't recognize the level that she feels for her dog as her quote unquote her child, if you will, just from the basic aspect of that's her dog.
Correct. Also, you only live there a couple days. You don't know what the dog does or don't do. Correct?
Right.
So you need to check in and say, hey, babe, I've been noticing he hasn't been eating. When he poop, I see a little bit of blood. Is that pretty typical when he's on this pill?
Yes.
So you should check in because you haven't been around this dog.
Yep.
But you're telling her, I got you. I got this, to the point where your reality is not lining up. I get you want to be the man.
Right.
I get you want to say, I got this. But being the man and saying I'm handling something is also informing the owner of their property.
Yep. Yep.
And he failed to do that or disclose.
Yep.
Because I'm like, he doesn't understand. Letting someone know is not saying that you don't have it.
And I'm not taking authority or responsibility, whatever.
Or doing a good job.
Because she's like, for Alexis, she's like, she has a fear of what else is there because he is vague. And she feels that it's also a form of manipulation, which I can agree with her, right? When you withhold information or you are selective about the information that you share, it can be a form of manipulation.
Because I go back to the last time we talked about him in the episode of the fear of losing her.
Yes.
So he needs to get to the root of why am I being vague? What does he gain out of being vague? And I think if he can trigger or understand, okay, when I'm vague, she feels that I'm in control, I'm handling. Right. When I'm vague, I feel like I'm portraying that I'm a good partner. So if he can remove those things in his mind, maybe he'll start speaking up about what's more detailed.
Possible. So they are getting ready for the party, and so she is at the candy store.
Because she leaves at some point.
Right, because what we find out when watching the after party, she left the house, and I guess it spent time away from their shared apartment. And so she was like, I don't know if we're going to have this party, but I'm at least go and get the candy, get the blow pops and the ring pops and all the other kind of pops.
Because they had to talk about the word done. Because she said, I'm done.
Yes.
He's like, what'd that mean? Like, done with me? She's like, I'm done with the conversation.
Yeah, because he did show up a little late.
He did.
And they get into it a little.
Did they get into it? You got it. We got to be. So she wasn't sure he was going to show up.
Right.
He does show up. She's like, oh, so you did decide to show up. I'm trying to stay in this. And he's like, okay, let's sit down. She's like, I'll sit down. And he tells her,
Well, first of all, he says he's not upset with her.
like,
She's like, I can't tell. You might be being vague right now. I don't know. I can't tell. And that he wants to keep fighting for the marriage, but she keeps saying she's done. Now, this is a point where communication becomes very key, because her I'm done is not I'm done with this relationship or I'm done with you. I'm done with this conversation for now. But he hears it through the filter of my previous fiance left me.
boom,
So therefore, if you're
boom.
done, now you're done with me as a relationship.
Correct.
So they both have the opportunity to do what we've been talking, what we've talked about, and even in our marriage that's helped us is what I hear you saying is, and even in that moment, if he has said, what I hear you saying is that you're done with this relationship, it gives her the opportunity to clarify. And she did try and clarify, but he was not hearing her.
No. And then the way she does communicate it about him not hearing her. So you're not listening to me. Well, he is listening, but he's not able to comprehend
Right.
through what you're actually saying.
Yes.
So the exercises brings out how he's interpreting what she's saying.
Yes.
So what I hear you're saying is that you're done with our relationship. Then she could clarify, no, I'm done with the conversation at the time.
Yep.
That helps him to cue in, oh, I put in my heart, now I've spoken it. Now she's clarified what's in my heart.
Yes.
But after that,
because he also does say that the reason he didn't over communicate is because he thought he could handle it. Because if you remember when he talked with Pastor Cal last week, he told Pastor Cal, "Oh, y'all be ready. I'm about to overshare. I'm about to share everything. I'm about to tell it all." But then a day and a half later, well, I didn't overshare because I thought I could handle it. That wasn't the agreement. That wasn't the statement that you made, bruh.
Well, and again, the point was about oversharing, not that if you had it or not. And that's where I'm telling you, when you feel like I gotta prove to you I'm the person for you, I gotta prove that I'm the man enough for you, but he's not realizing what being man enough is saying, babe, I don't know what's going on with your dog, and I need your help with your dog.
Right.
Which would be man. That's manning up.
Yep.
But when you're hiding, what comes off as hiding something, right? You're hiding that you're really not handling this.
Right.
And you're making it worse.
Yep.
So
she's like, I can't deal with this right now. I am not in a good space. Even though there's all this sugar and all this candy around, I am out. I am done. She's like, can you take this mic off of me now?
Well, that wasn't what caused it. You still didn't get to the part.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Because then he says, I'm thinking, you just getting aroused by this.
Yeah.
What? She's like, what? Excuse me? Yeah. You just get a kick and
she likes the drama.
You just like the drama of it. She says, who do you think I am? You think I'm freaky like that? She pretty much said, you think I'm freaky like that? That this is the thing I'm trying to make me get wet off of? I sure did.
She said it. I didn't. She said it.
She's like, it is disrespectful that you're saying that my sexuality is going to be tied to being toxic. Because that's pretty much what he was saying.
Pretty much what he's saying, yes.
Like she's some female dude. Yeah, because I was ticked at this point myself too, as you can tell.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's when she stood up and say, y'all can take my mic and stick it wherever it rouses him. Because I'm out. Black on black on black. I'm out. I'm out. I'm done. And left him with the candy.
Yep. So they do have a 90s themed party.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Not everybody got the message as far as their party.
Right.
Right.
She didn't know they were going to even have it. I think that's why she didn't tell them.
She's like,
how do you show up?
I'm a dress for, but if anybody show up, it's not because I told them. They just showing up at the house. She does say it's tense in the house, but she also says, and this is where I give kudos to Alexis. She says she's not going to do what she normally does and run away. Although, even as I say that, again, we found out in the after party she went out of the house and stayed someplace else for at least a day.
But they did talk on the phone.
True.
She didn't cut him completely off.
Correct.
But with it being 2 weeks, I think she did really well because it could have been worse.
It could have, right?
Yeah.
His friend, as they're talking, says, fights are to be expected, bruh. You're going to have fights. Especially y'all don't know each other, so this is part of you getting to know each other. And so then in the group, Alexis begins to open up about the issues that they're having.
And she makes a statement first. She says, normally I would talk to Justin first before I would share this. But look, y'all caught us mid-fight. Y'all caught us mid-fight.
This tension y'all feeling,
if you ain't feeling
you know what it is.
If you ain't feeling that, you're about to feel it. It's gonna be awkward here in a minute.
What you heard before you knocked on the door, let me help you understand. That wasn't the TV. That wasn't wrestling. That was us.
That was us. And this is where we are. And she's like, I'm not gonna fake and walk around here, trying to be happy for you guys. This is our party. And I'm gonna tell you, this is what's going on.
Yep.
And I'm thankful that the family then said, well, we'll give y'all space and then we'll come back. But they were willing to listen and hear both sides out. And then they did break off so she can meet with his friends and try to get a better understanding.
Yes.
On both sides. Are you a little bit overreacting because this is your child? Or are we seeing it from his perspective? Because they understood both.
Yeah. Because his friend, in talking with Alexis, does bring some of the male perspective. And just sometimes what can be considered vague is, as a man, sometimes it's just information. Now, with the dog, let me clarify. With the situation with the dog, that's not being vague. He just didn't say what he needed to say.
He needed to say a lot more.
Right. But one of the common issues that we find sometimes with men and women is that women are wanting more detail and men give very high level, top level information. And many times it's not in an effort to deceive, hide, or what have you. It's just the communication. For me, I think very...
yeah, explain it.
Wow. But I think I don't want to say high level, but I think very big picture and not very detailed. So I feel like you new to this.
This is how this goes. I asked my loving husband, so tell me about, your event happened.
It was good.
I get 2-3 points. And that's me. I might ask 1-2 questions. Then I have to let it go. Because for some reason at the moment, even though he comes home and it's maybe 30 minutes he's home, he can't remember the whole event at that he just left. But then I got to give another hour, and then all of a sudden he decides to share more information. And then maybe 2 hours later, oh, I forgot to tell you this. Well, at this point, I'm like a little disinterested because I wanted you to share everything. Well, why did he say that? Did something else happen? I don't know. Well, did you ask him about this? I don't know. I'm like, okay. The whole beautiful stories.
But when I get stories from her,
I
get the color of the of the table. I get
a story without the color.
Right. I get the smells of what was happening there.
Thank you.
I get what was happening 3 blocks down the street because she heard what happened over there. I get the details. It's like I'm there in virtual reality.
That's how you tell a story. That's how you tell. You just became a part of what I was without being there.
And then you just give the look like, Okay.
And I just get like, I don't even know did you even go there? Were you even at the event?
That's all you need. I went to the party. I went to the event. There were tables, there were chairs, there were people. End story. End of story.
But it isn't, because you just, throughout the day, you just, like, you're spoon feeding
Who
me.
cares if Tommy
But you
tripped over the
bring
tripped
it
over the banana
up
peel? Who
over
cares?
the whole 8-hour period of you being
Because then it gives us
home.
something. Listen, okay, it just gives us something to talk about later. That's what it is. It gives us stuff to talk about later. Because if I hit you with it all then we have nothing else to talk about. But then I can kind of take that story and chop it up like we do on social media. You can chop it up and make
Okay.
multiple pieces of
Let's get
content
back
out of
to
it.
let's get back to the people who they came to hear about.
All right. So anyway, he does say,
They probably forgot who we were on.
we still talking about Justin and Alexis. Sorry. But Justin does say something a little earlier, like he needs time to process his thoughts. So with the girl, I'm sorry. His friends ask Alexis, does she love him? And she's like, yeah, she choked up, but she's like, she's not in love.
Right. I get that.
Yep.
Because I know I told you I loved you 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, dang, what did I say?
Like, got him. Mm-hmm. Because the friend also says, you may not like him today, but move past the moment, which is key, right? We've talked about it a lot of times now.
Yeah.
We'll sometimes be like, look, I love you, but I don't like you right now.
Yeah, and I think, but he does need to really understand about this dog.
He does.
There's too many incidents happening with this dog.
Yes.
So the dog had to get his eye stitched, and now he's throwing up blood. I was like, dude.
Jason, you better tell Justin, you better tell everything about this dog for the next 2 weeks. If you see the dog looking cross-eyed, hey, Alexis, your dog was looking cross-eyed. I don't know what's going on, but you might want to check that out.
I was like, babe, I can't handle your dog. Your dog got too much stuff going on, and I keep messing up on the dog. I'm going to just give the dog over to you, and then until I know him better and we get to know each other and I know when he should be doing stuff, this is your dog. Mm-hmm. I'm not doing anything with this dog until we know better.
So then a little later, with Justin going with the fellas, Alexis going with the ladies, Alexis starts to tell about Justin wanting to kiss her when she's on the toilet.
Yeah, because they were talking about not having any alone time because they're always together. And then someone said, yeah, except for when you use the bathroom. And then she go, nope, not even going to the bathroom is safe, because he'll talk to me, go in the bathroom. And then I'm assuming he will open the door and try to kiss her while she on the toilet.
That's not. We've been married, what, 26 years?
Yeah.
I let you handle your business. You let me handle mine.
Trust me, I don't even try to come in the bathroom when you had to.
But we let each other. Now, we may talk to each other through the door.
Right. We've done that and be like, okay, let's just wait till I come out.
There is no public displays of affection.
I'm going to put a sign out on the bedroom door.
Nah.
But you did.
Justin, you a little too pressed right now, bro.
You know, I'm not going to tell people how to love their person. If he feels like he needs to give her a kiss, then hey, if she wants him, I would say, I do need some privacy. I need some privacy. But if she doesn't say that and she wants that to happen, that's why that's happening.
But I don't think she wants that to happen.
Well, she needs to speak up. Why we yelling?
Yes.
Why we yelling about stuff? Go ahead, yell about that.
Listen, be vague about this, bro. There's moments of being vague, and there's moments to not be vague. This is one of those moments you can be very vague in the other part of the apartment while she's handling her business. Let the woman handle her business in peace.
My goodness.
All right. So then, she recaps the dog situation to the ladies. Sasha is like, well, I don't really understand the whole dog thing.
I don't get it.
But be patient. Give it time.
And she says, I understand from Justin's perspective, because she says sometimes I don't overshare or provide a lot of detailed information. So I hear that, but I understand from Alexis' point.
Yeah.
If the dog ain't eating, just say the dog.
I think he needs to be very clear on that.
So
then they do talk about
Yeah.
on the fella side. They're like, so who got lucky? Who's married? And Justin's like, I have not been so lucky. I've tried, but I ain't had the luck. Well, bruh, if your timing stinks, where you going towards her when she in the bathroom, that might be one major reason why. Two, the fact that she doesn't feel that she can trust you because you're not telling her about her dog. She feels that you're being manipulative or misleading. That might be why. Because, and even, what's his name, Nate points out, he's like, look, she was talking about how she initiated, and Justin was the one that was holding back because, he was doing the celibacy thing, right? But now that's not the case. So that's why, because she doesn't feel like she can trust him, in my opinion.
I agree with that. And you're upset. You're upset about your dog and not sharing how your dog in the past has been aggressive with other pets. Because she's like, if I knew that, I would have been more cautious. I wouldn't just have my dog just running around the apartment. Even though you had your dog on a leash, I would have been more vigilant as well. And so they admit that. And then when you come around again about you keep giving him medicine and he's not responding correctly like a normal dog. Now, this is your thought process. Tell me your thought process. Like, hey, I thought the dog was just nervous being in a new spot. So I'm giving him medicine, but these things are happening. What are your thoughts about that? So he could include her on the thought
while still handling it.
Correct. Because they even shared, or she shared, that they do have some options for his dog if it doesn't work out between them all. So why can't you have the options of saying, if something's not going right with my dog, just tell me.
All right, well, listen, that's it for this couple as far as this review. Make sure you watch the other videos that we do on the other couples, and we'll see you next time. Have a great one. Be blessed.
Be blessed.